welcome to another virtual program from the Scott County Public Library here in Georgetown, Kentucky. Today we are going to get a little bit spooky for Halloween with some really easy Halloween crafts. I've got lots of supplies here in front of you. Most of them you should have at home. So first I'll go through the supplies and then we'll do each craft step by step. So of course you'll need some scissors and some glue. Some tacky glue or Elmer's glue is always helpful. You will need 3 popsicle sticks to make our little wooden popsicle stick web that we're going to weave. You will need a big puff ball or small puff balls if you have them, or you can use big cotton balls if you want, and a couple of pipe cleaners. Now this is one 12-inch pipe cleaner that I have cut in half. So I've got 5 little pieces of pipe cleaner for the legs to put on our little puffball spider. Now if you have googly eyes, of course a little bag of googly eyes you can get from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store. They're always handy to have around. They make everything so much more fun. We will also be making a paper spider, and of course you see on this one I did not use googly eyes. I just used regular paper and drew some silly eyes that I cut out and glued on. I'll also do a little demo on how to make this adorable little stand-up pumpkin. All it is circles that I have over here. Let me grab one here. Here's a black circle, and it's a circle that's folded in half and they're glued together with a little leaf on top, so that's a fun little project as well. And of course, last but not least, we are all going to learn how to make big old spider webs. Now the spider web will be the size of the paper that you use. If you are really creative and careful, and maybe you have a big person to help you, you can use a dollar store plastic tablecloth in black or orange or white and fold it and cut it the same way, and wind up with a giant plastic one that you can then put on your front door or your bedroom window. So this will be really fun. So of course, sometimes tape will be helpful, and of course construction paper. So for these projects, lots of different colors of construction paper. I have green, orange for our pumpkin, green for our bookmark, our Frankenstein bookmark, with some black paper for his hair. And we've also got some Sharpies. So if you have a black marker or a permanent marker or a Sharpie marker, that would be the other item you will need. Now for a snowflake this big, I actually took 4 sheets of paper and glued them all together. So that is my 4 sheets of paper glued together. Now paper is not square, and to get a spider web that's nice and even looking, you will need to start off with a square piece of paper. So I'm going to put this over to the side, excuse me, little spider guy, and I'm going to show you how to make a square. You'll start off with your giant rectangular piece of paper, and you are going to take whichever side you like, but you're going to fold it so that the edges match all the way to the corner, like this. And it will turn your paper into something that looks like this. So you'll have a triangle with this piece hanging off. This excess piece is going to have to be cut off. So when you cut this part off, now my triangle is not perfect, that's okay. Spider webs aren't exactly perfect. We're going to cut off this extra spot right here so that we have a cute little triangle. And you can use this later on to make another smaller spider web, or circles or eyes or accents or what have you. So now we have our square piece of paper folded into a triangle. And now here's the little bit of a tricky part, but once you've done it a few times, you'll be much better at it and it'll be much easier. In order to not make a snowflake, we need to make this shape of the spider web with that scalloped edge. So we have to fold our paper in a very specific way. So what you're going to do next is you are going to take your 2 corners and fold them up almost like a vampire folding his cape around him. Now I'm going to put this down the table just so I can have some more leverage with my folding here. You want your point in the center to be nice and pointy. This point at the bottom is going to be the point of your spider web. So you're going to fold it, like I said, you have a triangle, and you're going to fold it. Now remember, this is the open end up top here. You're going to fold one folded end up and the other folded end up so that it looks like this. And you'll see on the back it kind of looks like that kite shape with these little ears sticking out on either side. This is important because this is what's going to help give you your cute shape. Now, next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold this in half one more time. So the side that opens is going to be on the inside of your fold. So here we go. And the reason I'm using this giant paper is so you can see it fairly clearly. Now, so here we are. Here is that kite shape. That's the outside. And here it is folded, and that's the flappy side, right? So you've got your triangle. I'm going to do it one more time so y'all can see it. You're going to fold your two sides in. Then the side that's not the kite shape, but the side that's got the crisscross, is going to be folded inside. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find the lowest sheet of paper. So this is my lowest sheet of paper right here. And you are going to cut off the shape so that you get the scalloped edge of your spider web. So you can see on all of these spider webs, this scalloped edge here is what we're making with this. So you will take it with your scissors and you're just going to cut it off in that kind of a scalloped edge shape. All right, now the reason I'm using white paper is because it's easier to see what I'm drawing and what I'm doing. But doing it on black paper will make it look just as cool, and you can use a black tablecloth or black tissue paper even as well. Once you get this cone shape, right, now you're going to start making the web parts. The key is to cut on the side that has the three flaps, the open side, not the folded side, okay? You're going to cut on this side, and you're going to draw on it what you're going to cut off, and let me show you what it's going to look like. You're going to cut off this shape. So you're going to make these little curved boxes, and that is the section that you're cutting out. So your goal when you are done drawing all of those is something that looks like this. Can you see that? How it looks like that when you're done? So this is just a regular single sheet of tiny paper I had left over that I have folded in the same way. So here we are. Here's the open edge. Here's the closed edge. Once I have cut these out all the way down, and remember, don't cut through this fold. You need that fold to stay. You're going to wind up with something that looks just like this. So on this one, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections removed. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like when you open it up. Now, it kind of looks like a Christmas tree, right? Then you're going to open up one side. Remember, you folded those two sides of the paper crisscross. So here's your crisscross. Here you go. We're getting there. And then one last time. And there is your spider web. So that is my little one. So I'm going to attempt to cut this big one, and hopefully my hand will hold up and you'll see what it looks like when you do it even bigger. So we're going to give it nice even cuts along this folded edge. So there's my first piece out. Remember, we're cutting on that open end, so it's going to be a little floppy flippy while you're cutting. So just be careful you don't cut any extra parts off, right? And you'll need a nice, good, sharp pair of scissors or a big person who's good with sharp scissors to help you cut. Because this is the hardest part of all the crafts we're doing today, trust me. So there's 2. I'm going to do one more. Maybe 2 more. I think I need 2 more to make it look more like a spider. So there's 3. And 1 more. Now this paper is pretty thick, so whew, that was a good workout. So once again, I've got my flippy floppy upside down Christmas tree, right? And then we're going to open it up one way. And then we'll open it up the other way. And then we'll open it up completely. And oops, got a little stuck there because my scissors were not quite as sharp as I needed. And there you have it, your giant spider web. So a little spider would be oh so happy to come live on this spider web. Isn't that cute? All right, so I hope that that made sense to you all. And like I said, that fold over that you're going to do makes all the difference. So you fold it that one time and that second time, and you get that little Christmas tree shape. So if it doesn't look like that when you're done, then you have not gotten it just right. And you will have some trial and error, and that is okay, because nobody is perfect, right? So that is our big snowflake. The next thing we're going to do is make our little spider, our paper spider, to go on our snowflake. Now, this paper spider, super easy. All I did was find things that are round to trace. You could maybe trace a mason jar lid or the inside of a roll of tape. I also found some lids that I like to trace. We got some big orange juice lids. So you can trace whatever you find that has some circles. So I've got a whole bunch of circles here, and I've made a whole bunch ahead of time just to show you how easy this little spider guy is going to be. So you're going to take your circles, and now the more circles you make, the fuller he'll be. This one I think is only 4 circles. If you want him to look a little fatter, you keep adding some more. So you're going to take your circles, once you've cut them all out, so you can trace the inside of your tape roll, and you're going to fold them in half, like a half moon. Once you get a whole bunch of them folded up, you're going to start gluing the 2 sides together. So here we go. We're going to take our glue stick or our glue, grab that, and just put a little bit of glue on our circle, half circle, and glue the next half circle onto it and give it a good squeeze so it sticks together, okay? Once you get 6, 8 more and you open it up, it's going to look like this, right? So almost like a round pumpkin but made of black. So I've kept mine about that thick. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 circles. So we start out with 2, and then you add another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. So that's 6 circles. So once I've got that done, I'm going to need some eyes to make my spider look super cool. So I just grabbed some white paper, and I drew on some eyes. I didn't want googly eyes on this spider. I think silly eyes look better. So all you have to do is make a couple of dots and a couple of crazy circles like that, and then decide where you want to put the eyeballs. So maybe the eyeballs are looking up in this direction on this one. All right, so then all you have to do is cut out the eyes that you want to use, and very carefully make sure you don't make your eyeballs too oddly shaped, because you want them to look kind of spooky. All right, got those cut out. And you're just going to very carefully pick something in the middle of your spider, maybe right here. right? Get some glue going in the old glue bottle here. You don't want it right at the top, you want it a little bit ways in so that you have them kind of centered in the bottle. So a little drop there of glue and a little drop there. And we're going to stick our eyes on just like that. So you can kind of get them to stay on for a minute by holding them down, and then they'll glue themselves on in a moment. So there's your eyes. Super cute. So while the eyes are drying, you're going to be working on the wiggly legs. So I just grabbed some scrap black paper that I had lying around, and I cut off, I would say that's about 8-inch strip. You can make them extra long if you want an extra long daddy long leg spider, and just cut off a strip. And what I did was I folded the edge here to make the bottom foot, and then I gave him a knee, and then I gave him one more piece to stick behind the bottom, and then all you have to do is just trim it off. So here is a leg, and I just bent it like that. So we'll take some glue, put some glue right on our leg here, and pick up our spider, and you can add that leg wherever you think it looks the best. So there we go, there's our little leg. And now remember, spiders are arachnids, and arachnids is a fancy name for spiders. They have 8 legs. Insects generally have 6 legs. Spiders, arachnids, have 8 legs. So as you keep going, you keep making more legs, and all I did once again was just fold a little bit for a foot, and then give them a knee, and then another fold up to attach, and it's just a floppy leg. See that? So once you get all 8 legs on, you will have a cute little floppy spider to put onto your awesome giant spider web. I hope you enjoyed that craft. That is one of my favorites. And all it is circles that you can just trace from any household object, even a small bowl or plate, and then some construction paper and glue. So that is awesome and fun. Now while we're on these circles, if you have some orange and red construction paper, trace those same object and make some orange and red circles. You're going to do the same thing, folding them all in half. But this time, since they're 2 different colors, you're going to assemble them in alternating colors. So for instance, if you start with an orange half circle, add a little glue, then you're going to add on a red half circle and get those stuck together nice and even, right? Then another orange half circle, right? And another red half circle. And you'll keep going till you have about, I would say 10 or 12 would be the optimal number. More than that, it gets a little thick. Less than that, it's a little thin. But as you can see, what I'm doing is making my pumpkin. So now the reason my pumpkin stands up is once I get all of my parts glued, you're going to take your scissors and just cut off about that much. Right across the bottom, and that is what's going to make it able to stand up. So you can add on a little fancy green leaf and green stem, and you can make these in all different sizes. You can use construction paper. You can even use scrapbook paper if you have some great holiday themed scrapbook paper, and they make super cute little pumpkins. All right, so we've gotten our web and our pumpkin and our spider done. We are moving right along. I'm now going to do our other little spider, our little pipe cleaner spider. Now this one is also not too difficult, so fear not. You're going to start off with a couple of 6-inch pipe cleaners. You'll need 4 for the legs because 4 on each side will be 8 legs, and 1 to attach your pom-pom. Now I used a little tiny pom-pom ball in the middle just because that's what I had at home, but then I came to work and I found some giant ones. So maybe you want to make a big hairy spider in a different color. So I'm going to use this, let's see, maybe I'll use this, well, I'll use the black one. The black one looks pretty good with red legs, right? So the first thing you're going to do is make your feet. You're going to take just the end of each of your pipe cleaners and make little feet. Can you do that? So each one will have a little 1/2-inch foot on it. Okay. So that's 4 legs. Do this one here. There we go. Then the 4 legs have to be put together. So we're going to kind of cross them over here and get those 4 legs in your hand. It doesn't matter if the legs are a little longer or shorter on one side or another, right? And you're going to give them a little twist. Once, twice, just to hold them together, all right? Now that they're together, you can kind of give your spider the kind of feet or knees or shape that you want them to have, like this. Just going to bend them and move them until they're in the right shape that you want your spider to be. All right, so here's my crazy spider. He's got one leg way up in the air like a fancy dance, all right? Then you're going to take your pom-pom and put your pipe cleaner over it, maybe a little bit more to one side than the other, like kind of like a head and a body. Get it nice and tight as you can get it. If you need some help, you don't want your pom-pom to slip out, and give it a twist. So there we go, right? Now I'm going to add him to my pipe cleaners. We're going to squish him in here and give it a quick turn and hide those extra parts. We don't want him to look like he has extra legs. So you got to hide those underneath him. So here he is. And now here's where those fun googly eyes come in handy, because, oh, my little spider went jumping, didn't he? So here's my little spider, and he's got some crazy legs going on here. And all you need to do is throw on some googly eyes and you'll be done. So I've got our little spider guy here, and I'm going to put some dabs of glue right there. Now if you want to do some crazy eyes, you can maybe do one giant eye and one smaller eye. But there's my little spider guy. I hope you like him. I'm pretty proud of him. He looks good. He'll look good on top of a pencil. You can put him on top of one of your pencils with a pipe cleaner. And climbing on your webs, or just maybe sneaking up on some of the items in your refrigerator. You can stick him on a couple of items in your refrigerator and surprise someone, huh? So there's our little spider guy. I'm really excited about our little spiders. I haven't made these in years, and they're lots of fun, aren't they? All right, so we've got our spider web, our paper spider, our pipe cleaner, and ball spider. Now there's one more craft I'd like to do today, and that is our Frankenstein bookmark. Now you can use these popsicle sticks. I got a big popsicle stick here. You can even use the small popsicle sticks. And this one is not too terribly difficult. You'll start off with some green paper. So let's say we have some green paper here, and I just cut a rectangle. You don't want it to be too long, so I'm going to cut this rectangle about there. Okay. Now, I have hair on here, and it's just black construction paper cut with a zigzag. Now, someone I know put eyebrows on theirs, so I think I'm going to put eyebrows on my Frankenstein as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure for his hair. So I need a piece of paper that is about this big to make his hair. And I'm just going to cut some zigzaggy lines in here to make it look like hair. You don't want it to be too even. You want it to look kind of like messy, crazed Frankenstein hair. So there's my crazy Frankenstein hair. So I will glue that onto my top of my bookmark here. And there we go. All right. And now maybe he's got his hair's a little bit too long there. We'll cut it down a little bit there. All right, so there's my Frankenstein hair. Now I'm going to give him some eyebrows, and I think eyebrows should look pretty cool. So Frankenstein doesn't have beautifully manicured eyebrows. No, no, no. He's got a big old unibrow. So I'm going to cut a piece of black paper right there, that's about this big, and glue it on very carefully here at the top of his head, but just under his hair eyebrow. Isn't that silly? Now, as you can see, you don't have to have an eyebrow, but it kind of makes him look even sillier. So now the next part I just did with my permanent marker. Now if you have googly eyes, you can totally glue on some googly eyes at this point if you would like. So on this one, since I drew the other ones, I'm going to put my googly eyes on this one. You can never have too many uses for googly eyes. So there you go. That's the difference. So now we're going to need to draw on our nose. He doesn't have a very delicate nose. He has a big nose. So just give him a big, old, wide nose. Kind of like a U, a little fatter at the bottom, narrower at the top. All right. Then, because he's Frankenstein, he has to have some stitches. So I'm going to give him a scar on his forehead and a big one on his neck where he had some surgery there. So there we go. And then finally, of course, we have to give him his silly grin. So of course I made him kind of a squiggly line on this one. So let's see what this one will be like. It doesn't have to be perfect, it can just be silly. All right. So there we go. Now, Frankenstein would not be Frankenstein without his electrodes. So I've got some electrodes here, kind of behind his ears. So if you wanted to add some electrodes, all you have to do is cut a little mushroom shape out of some paper, or something that looks kind of like a bolt, right? And so there we go. I've got 2 bolts that I've cut out of our construction paper here, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those on the back of his neck so that he has his electrodes in full effect. There we go. Perfect. And now, of course, if you don't have glue and you just want to stick some tape over everything, you can always do that. Sometimes if your glue doesn't dry fast enough, Miss Rosie has to use some tape so they don't fall off. So here he is with his electrodes. All right, and final piece, of course, is adding on your popsicle stick to make your bookmark. So I'll go ahead and tape one of those on here to show you what it looks like. So we have our spider web and our pumpkins, our spiders, and our Frankie bookmarks. So I hope you enjoyed that. These make great table decorations. You can even make them as placeholders or put them in gift bags. They're super fun to make and so simple. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial on Halloween crafts and getting spooky here with Miss Rosie at the Scott County Public Library. Have a great holiday, and hopefully we'll see you at the library. For this and more great virtual programming, don't forget to check out our website, www.scottpublib.org, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great day. Take care, everyone.